days I strive, but when the sun sets, I come alive. The world keeps running, but I stand still, obeying your command, Yahuwah's will. No working hands, no toilet ground, only peace and joy abound. A day of rest, a gift so true, Yahuwah, I delight in you. Shabbat shalom, a time of peace, a quarter sign that will not cease. I lay it down, I leave it all, and in your presence I stand tall. No buy or selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from evening light. A day for worship, a time to be with family close and heart set free. I hear your voice in stillness deep. You call me close, my soul to keep. Your love surrounds, your spirit leads. You give me rest to meet my needs. Set apart from worldly ways, I lift my voice in songs of praise. Your covenant forever stands. I trust, obey, and lift my hands. The work is done, the table set. Your Sabbath peace I won't forget. I breathe it in, I let it flow. A glimpse of what's to come, I know. Shabbat shalom, a time of peace, a quarter sign that will not cease. I lay it down, I leave it all, and in your presence I stand tall. From week to week, this truth remains, a day of joy and touched by chains. Oh Yahuwah, my King, my rest, in your Sabbath I am blessed. No buying, selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest from evening light. No buying, selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest for hearts set free. No buying, selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest for hearts set free. No buying, selling, just pure delight in Yahuwah's rest for hearts set free. From week to week, this truth remains, a day of joy and touched by chains. Oh Yahuwah, my King, my rest, in your Sabbath I am blessed.
Shabbat shalom, beautiful family out there. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden. I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah channel. And it has been a woolly, wild week. And here we are obeying the commandments of our Creator as we have a day of rest, as we are gathered together digitally across this world in a beautiful fashion. And I cannot thank you guys enough for joining us around our little table in the middle of these jungles. And it has been, again, it's been a woolly, wild week. I don't know about all of you guys, but it is one of these things that every week that we are able to make it to a Shabbat, I'm very thankful that we have another day, another week, another moment that we can spend on these beautiful lands that our Creator has given to us and given us this beautiful testing period and time. For those who have never joined us before and have no idea anything about what this channel is about, we are the people that love all of the scriptures, from the front of the book to the end of the book, including all of the Apocrypha. The best things in the world that we have ever been given is the Torah of our Creator. The Torah is found in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And it is in those 5 books that we have a foundational basis for everything in life. We learn how to worship our Creator. We learn how to eat properly. We learn what is food and what is not food. We learn how to run our businesses. We learn how to run our families. We learn how to run ourselves and how we should account ourselves in the kingdom to come. And it is throughout these scriptures that nowhere in the scriptures are these first 5 books ever expired. Never do they say that it's over, it's dead and gone, it's been nailed to a tree, or anything of the sort. In fact, all throughout scriptures, if you will read them, it very clearly says that the Torah is for all generations. It's for all peoples, all families, all creeds, all nations, if you want to be considered a child of the Most High, the beginning foundational standpoint is with the laws of our Creator. And it is with the laws of our Creator that we have been given a Messiah. And if you just try to take our Messiah without walking the laws of our Creator, by the words of our Messiah himself, he will says, "Depart from me, you who are Torah-less, you who work iniquity." And so it is a path of righteousness that we are attempting to take. And it doesn't mean that we don't sin. It doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes. It doesn't mean that we're holier than anyone else. But what we are doing is trying to align our lives, our families' lives, into the structure and the ways of the kingdom to come. And it is with that that I welcome you guys, that we extend this opening day, and we are very glad that you guys have joined us. Cade, will you please open us up in prayer?
Heavenly Father, thank you for this day, and we thank you for your Torah and your Shabbat, and the day you have called set apart, the day you have called holy, and we ask that we keep it holy, we keep it Kodesh, and everything that you have commanded, that we are able to carry out the commands to this day that people have said have gone away. We've chosen to trust you and trust your commands, and we ask that you count it as righteousness for those who obey, and we count it as your people when the kingdom to come. And I ask that this Shabbat is blessed, that everyone is rested. The Ruach HaKodesh is on our eyes, on our hearts, and on our souls today. As we go in and we dive into this word, thank you for all in Yahshua's name. Amen.
All right. So, greetings to everybody around these tables. Jade, will you please bless and Shema, actually, our people. Now, the actual word in Hebrew, guys, is Shema, and it means to hear and obey. And what we're about to read is incredible text that comes out of the book of Deuteronomy. Now, we have, 40,000 different denominations of Christianity. You have 300,000 or 400,000 different religions across the world. And every single one of them have one thing in common. They are all opposing the actual scriptures of what our Creator has said to do. And for those who do not know, first time folks, we're not part of the Judaism. We're not Jews. If you would need a name to call us, we would probably be Hebrews or Torah keepers or law keepers, those kind of things. And so as we read this very first commandment that we have right here, when it's talking about the words which are being commanded to us today, the word of our Creator is the first 5 books of Scriptures. It is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And so, Jade, will you please read this for our people?
Hear, O Yisrael, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. And you shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your being, and with all your might. And these words that I am commanding you today shall be in your heart, and you shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them as a sign on your hand, and they shall be as frontlets between your eyes. And you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
So this is a opening testimony of our Creator, where he tells us very clearly he is one. So anytime that you have those who are like, well, the Creator and his Son are all one duality, that is incorrect. Now, when you talk about the Ruach HaKodesh, which is the power, the extension hand power of our Creator, those you could probably say is a duality, but it's not a duality because our Elohim is one. But he wields the power of things that you would call the Holy Spirit. And so when we have this understanding that there is one Elohim, there's one who you would call God, and that is who our prayers go to. This is how our prayers get heard. Our prayers are delivered the same way that our Messiah told us to send the prayers up, our Father who art in heaven, right? This is the entire process of learning Torah, walking in the Torah, and walking in his ways. Now, Ms. Nicole, will you please greet all of our brothers and sisters who are here today, and for those who are coming in the future, much love to you, shouts out, and congratulations on being a part of Yah's Kingdom Walk.
All right, so we have Sue, Sarah and William, Candy and Ruby, Curtis, Anna Lee, Brandy, Jeremy and Callan, Adam MC, which is new, and he says to forgive his ignorance because he's new and clueless, so I told him to ask any questions he needed. And
Yep, absolutely. Welcome, 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 my friend.
all right, we also have Jeannie, we have Jerry and Dolly, BP Man, Richie James, Yeshayahu, Sylvia, scrolling, Mama CA, Joanna, Honeymoon Stitch, The Grand, and I think that's everybody.
Okay, well, shalom to you, all of you guys, and that word actually means peace. And so may peace rest upon all of you guys, and may it rest upon your day of Shabbat as we are going through this. Now, what we're going to go through right here is the same thing that they went through back in the days. Back in the days, during the days of Ezra and Nehemiah, when they were first coming out of the Babylonian captivity, the people had never heard the Torah. And so this is something that when you are able to hear the Torah, sometimes for the very first time, this is the same thing that everybody says has been nailed to the cross. But yet there's no place in scriptures that actually says anything like that. And so as we get through this, and guys, what you're looking at is you're looking at a free app by Yah Scriptures. You guys can go to the Apple store, you can go to the Android store, just type in Yah Scriptures, and you can get this exact same app absolutely free of charge. Now, right here in the middle of these three little bars here is we have Torah commands. Now, these are the Torah commands of our Creator that He has given to us. Now, for those who have never heard this before, or this is the first time that you ever listened to this, again, these are the hidden commands that people have said don't apply to you. They say that they're for stories for kids up to 10 years old and history after that. But when the people of the religious system have found a guy that they call Jesus, and there were no J's in Hebrew, so his name was not Jesus, these are the commands that have been hidden from us by the religious systems. Now, as we go through these commands, you're not going to find any commands that are funky or that don't seem to work out. Every single one of these commands are for good living. They are for securing your life. And these are the commands that we are told in scriptures, according to Revelation 14:12, that says the people who are saved are the people that are keeping these commandments. Now, the Torah is not just a thing that we do on Shabbat. The Torah is something that we live by. We have lenses. We put them as frontlets between our eyes. Every single decision that we make in this world, we do not make without going through the Torah and reading and understanding it. And so as we begin, let us get into this right here. Commandment number 1 is be fruitful.
Commandment number 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth.
Subdue it. Have dominion over the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The herb bearing and every tree is for food.
Man and woman should build their own families.
Master sin.
Every cling moving thing that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood.
Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. Guys, take a look at this one. This commandment is listed over and over and over. It is a big one. It is a doozy. And when you look at it and wonder why it is that we have this commandment that has been reiterated more times than any other commandment in the scriptures, and you look at the commandment in of itself, it's telling us literally to guard Yahuwah's covenant, laws, statutes, and commandments. Now, for those who don't understand, nailing the laws to the tree, nailing the laws to the cross are not guarding the covenant of Yahuwah. It's not guarding the way forward. And so as we see this ginormous command that is out here, we need to make sure that we're literally guarding this. As people will tell you that the laws have been fulfilled and they don't apply to you anymore, why would we have this iterated over 53, 54 times in scriptures alone? Continuing on, every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old.
Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach.
Keep the feast of unleavened bread and the festival of Matzah.
There is one Torah for the stranger and the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah.
There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught.
Keep the Shabbat.
Okay, and look at this one, guys. This is a big one too. When you look at the other commandments where there's like one verse or two verses on this thing, the important part about keeping the Shabbat for those that have never kept the seventh day is that the humans were not designed to work 24/7. We were designed to work 24/6, right? And that is what our Creator has said. And all of these religions, there is no religion out there that has you abiding by these laws, statutes, and commandments. And what better way forward than if we are given a complete day of rest? And the rules of the day of rest are simple things, right? Don't work, don't cook, don't cling, don't make other people cling. Don't harness up your horse and take him for a ride. Don't harness up, don't make others work. This is about a complete day of rest where you are ready for the next day, for the first day. And in religion, they have taken the Sabbath day and they said, well, we've made it the Lord's day. We have it, and everybody worships on a Sunday, the day of the sun, Sol Victus. So why is it important that we keep the Sabbath day? Because this is an appointed time that we have every single week that is a mark of the people who are our creators. You will find our creators' people that are keeping the Shabbat days. And so that's what we want to be, right? We're striving to follow under these government ordinances of our government of the future, right? This is the proper government. All of us live in these places all across the world, and these governments all have all these massive rules. They have the stuff that doesn't make sense. It is just a mess. But yet here we have good ruling, good instructions. And one of them, one of many, is that we keep the Sabbath day. The next commandment, which is a very important one, is great things, right? Honor your parents.
Do not kill.
Do not break wedlock. Do not steal. Do not make false accusations against your neighbor. Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from a rock that a tool has touched.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps. If a man steals cattle, he shall store it 5 times.
Yahuwah's laws for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts. No sacrifice to other Elohim.
Do not oppress a stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest. If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast. No false report.
Do not follow a multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor. Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers. Take no bribes.
Do not oppress a stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year. Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feasts of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk. Obey the messenger Yahuwah stands before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah. Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land. Do not make or use his anointing oil on an old person. Do not make or use his perfume on an old person. Do not eat the fat.
Do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's. Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Hold on, guys. Sorry about this. We have 9 pit bulls, and sometimes they get a little crazy, and it is what it is. And so, yes, Miss Nicole is over there guiding the dogs around there, getting them to where they need to be. So forgive our loudness and this. All right, gentlemen, let's continue on back into this.
All right, I think we're on obey Yahuwah's dietary laws.
Yeah, and let's look at this one. Let's look at this commandment, right? A lot of people say that food is food. It doesn't matter what it is, right? They say pig is food. They say whatever. And it's very unfortunate. I got to speak with dear old mom yesterday, and she's not looking too good, right? She fell under the hoax of 2019, 2020, and 2021, and she's all shot up. And so it is one of these things that she's not looking real good, and she's not feeling real good. And I tried to yesterday again convince her that the laws of our Creator are something spectacular, something very much worth looking into, something that we should be abiding by and keeping them. And she just kind of laughs and says, she's like, I like my little Piggly Wigglies. I like the bacon. And I'm like, Mom, that's not food. And she's like, well, that's not in the 10 Commandments. And I'm like, Mom, the 10 Commandments aren't the only commandments that we have. When you are in basically a cult, and it's a cult of religion, any kind of a cult of religion. And the funny thing is, people say the Torah keepers are in a cult, right? Because we don't eat the Piggly Wigglies. We don't eat the bad foods. We don't eat shrimp and lobster and clams and all these other things that we're not supposed to eat. So because we are a Creator, they say that we're in a cult. But when you look at the rest of the world that runs contrary to what the scriptures have to say, then there's no other way to put what the religious system is except for a. And so the cult of religion has told you that there's only 10 commandments. And they all believe that they keep the 10 commandments. But yet the fourth commandment is to obey the Sabbath day. And they're like, well, we turned the Sabbath day into a Sunday. Well, that's the thing is man has completely confused all of this, and what we're dealing with is traditions of men. And these traditions of men have led people astray. They have taken Paul and made Paul their God, because they will take a couple of writings of Paul that's probably not even Paul's writings, and they will make a doctrine out of it at the expense of their souls. Now, as we are trying to deal with the laws and trying to figure out what our Creator wants from us, we have to get rid of all the dogmas and all of the false traditions and all of these traditions of men that these little preachers have told us for years and years and years. You have entire cable channel TVs that are supposedly the Trinity Broadcasting Network that is sitting there, and everybody's saved, right? Everybody's saved. You're saved at 8 years old. You raise your hand. You get baptized. You know, they truly believe without a shadow of a doubt that salvation cannot be snatched from your hand, when in fact those who call Messiah Yahushua Jesus says that he clearly says, depart from me, you who are Torah-less, you who walk in iniquity. So salvation can be snatched out of somebody's hand, and we get to salvation by fear and trembling. We get to it by realigning our lives to a day-to-day walk that makes our Creator happy. And so we have a set of dietary laws. And Leviticus 11 very clearly tells us what is food and what is not food. And for those who eat proper food, you will find health. There's all these bad benefits. When you're frying up bacon, all the black stuff that people love to suck down, that's all carcinogen. It is stuff that creates cancers. It is nasty stuff. Pig was never meant to be food. And that's one of the first things that people just can't seem to get over the hump of, is that pig is not food. That lobster and shellfish, Long John Silver's, Popeyes, all these places that have all this endless unclean food, they're paganized food. They're leading people astray. They're leading people to an early death. And our Creator has given us these laws, statutes, and commandments not to oppress us, but it is to impress us into the right way of understanding. When we eat right, our lives will get better. And that's one of the things that it is so very, very clear with all the people. Hundreds of thousands of people worldwide end up sick and dying every single year because they eat these kind of foods that are not foods. They are animals. They're janitors of the environment. Continuing on, women's time of separation. There's rules, regulations, there's things we need to do, things we shouldn't be doing when our women are cycling. Continuing on.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim.
Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with the woman her uncleanness. You should not sacrifice your children to Moloch. Do not be a sodomite.
Be Kodesh.
Do not reap corn of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor. These are the good instructions that we've been given, right? If all of the world lived under the ways of the Torah, then we would know without a shadow of a doubt how to deal with things, right? Right out of the gate, we're not supposed to deal falsely or defraud our neighbor. But yet the religious system will say, oh, these are nailed to the cross. They don't apply to us. They're not for us in this time. So when you're dealing in a business fashion with those who are in these false religions, these things that are contrary to scriptures, you have to understand that their moral guidelines are not the same as yours. And so you've got to be very vigilant. And that's why we're told not to involve ourselves with the world. We're not supposed to business partner up with the religious system people, the Christians. And they may be the nicest people in the world. They may be somebody you don't think are ever going to rip you off. But at the end of the day, they don't have the same kind of guidelines and understand that they are under these obligations that our Creator has given to us. Do not lie or be a liar.
Pay your workers for the day's wage they are due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor. Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself. Do not diverse your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool. Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery. Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself for the dead. Do not get tattoos.
Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple. Do not consult a medium.
Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures. Do not walk in the manners of the nation.
Keep the feast of first fruit, Shavuot, Omer count, Pentecost.
Keep the feast of your trumpets, Yom Kippur. Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shemini Atzeret.
You blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another. Repay injury for injury.
On the Yobel, the Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against. The Torah of being a Nazir.
Wear zizi on the four corners of your garments.
The laws of whoever touches the corpse. Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance.
The Torah of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Okay, this is a very, very important set of scriptures right here, right? Do not add or take away from the word. This commandment in of itself completely annihilates religion. All these religious systems. Now, when you join into, say, a Christian, a Baptist church, every denomination has a set of guidelines. What do we believe? When you look at what do we believe and you look at what they practice, how they practice it, it is different than scriptures. If you're going to a Sunday church, these guys have added and they've taken away from the word. If you go to a potluck after church and they're serving you pork and beans, they are adding to or taking away from the word. When they say that all food has been made clean, and then they will quote you Peter's dream, they are adding to and taking away from the word. When they do not keep the Passover, Shavuot, all of these things that we are told to keep, they are taking away from the word of our Creator. We can't have it both ways. You can't hate some commandments and keep and say that you are loyal to our Creator. 100% of keeping the Torah is about showing our loyalty to our Creator and to give back to Him for all the greatness that He has given to us. If you're able to breathe, if you're able to operate and stay alive and be alive and take a breath, that is what our Creator has done for us. And it is because He has done this for us that we are able to live, to worship Him, to walk in His ways. When we do not walk in His ways, when we destroy the Torah, when we say it doesn't matter to us, we're disloyal. Just like when our kids do great evil and we have told them that there's laws of the house, there's a Torah of our house. And when they violate the laws of our house and they do things that they should not be doing, that is very evil, right? They're taking away and adding it to the word. And for that you're not going to be happy, right? As a parent, you're just not happy. Now, our Creator has given us a wonderful set of guidelines. And this particular commandment right here about taking away and adding to the word, it must be concrete. It must be something that we do not allow others to violate for us. And when we know the Torah and walk the Torah, learn the Torah, nobody's ever going to be able to violate you or mess with you or give you other doctrine, because you're going to go, you know what? This is adding to, or this is taking away from the Torah. That takes us into the next one, which is a beautiful commandment of guarding our soul. The only thing that we are ever going to walk out of this world with is our soul. You're not going to walk out with money. You're not going to walk out with a car or fancy clothes or a nice watch or, cool shoes. You walk out with nothing. All you have on your last breath is your soul. And so many people have dedicated their soul to this Christian walk, to where the Christian walk has deceived them, to where they believe that they just don't have any kind of Torah at all, and they believe that they're waiting on a magical school bus driven by a fella named Jesus, who is lawless, who is running a lawless train, when in fact our Messiah Yahushua was not lawless. He was very much he was the Torah made flesh. He was the word of our Creator, and he walked it perfectly. He gave us understanding, and he taught us a tremendous amount of things about the Torah. So we need to guard our souls. Continuing on, learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the laws upon your hand and the fronts between your eyes. Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah.
Big thing, right? We don't want to tempt Yahuwah, right? Do you want to tempt your dad who has a big old belt that you know he's going to tan your hide? Probably not a good idea, right? So why would we tempt the individual who created us, built us, could very much give us cancer, could very much give us the rotting of our insides out, could very much make our existence a very, very bad existence, and he has full, complete control of our soul at the end of time. Why would we tempt him by walking in the manners of the nation? Why would we not want to do what he says to do? Why is it so easy for us to say the laws are dead and nailed to the cross when our Creator has very clearly said these laws are for all times, all peoples? If you want to be my child, follow the commands. I will be your Elohim. Continuing on, do what is good, right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah.
Circumcise your heart. Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name.
Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah as the pagans do to their Elohim. Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with.
Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
So there's the opposite of do what is right, right? If you're not doing what is right in the eyes of our Creator, that means you are doing what is right in your own eyes. My dear mom, who loves her pig, who will not listen to any kind of Torah, who's getting towards the point of being on death's door, it is a very, very sad time when I talk to her and she sits there and laughs like she literally is laughing at the commandments of our Creator. And all I could think of is as it just really entertains her that I'm trying to convince her to do the right things when it comes to Torah, that she's not going to be laughing when she's takes that last breath. When she's separated from the rest of the people that have done righteousness and is set for all eternity, she literally did what was right in her own eyes. And I've spent years working with her, trying to get her on the right path. And she just won't listen. She will not listen. And it is very, very sad. It is very, very unfortunate. And so here we are. Do you have something?
The Grand. She says, I'm having a hard time reconciling the priests performing daily sacrifices on Sabbath. Is it possible this is something that was added? Strange that the stick picker gets stoned, but priests are forgiven.
Well, this is from the Grand.
Yeah.
So this is one of these things that we know the priests had to work on a Shabbat. And that was part of, I think Messiah even said it. Didn't Messiah talk about this?
Yeah, even the priests work on Shabbat.
Even the priests have to work on Shabbat. And that's the thing is there was, there's always temple stuff going on, right? There's always like incense, there's stuff going on in the temple. And at the end of the day, I mean, even reading from the scrolls, even, working with the people, having to answer the questions is a type of work. And so I don't think that is a conflict of interest. That was what the Levites were there for, right? The Levites were a set apart people that were meant to do this kind of stuff. Now, the guy picking up the sticks wasn't a Levite, right? We don't know the exact situation that was going on with this guy, but we do know that he was voluntarily out grabbing sticks and probably getting ready to kindle a fire and probably was not obeying the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. Whereas the entire Levitical priesthood was set up for a 7-day cycle, and they were the only people that were able to do such a thing. When Messiah Yahushua says, even the temple guys have to make it happen, that was the job of the Levites. And so, that's the instructions of our Creator. And, all throughout Scriptures, I don't see that as being a conflict of interest.
Like Sister Barb says, they serve Yahuwah. It's not work unto them, and it was considered a part of like their worship.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think Sister Barb hit it right there. So, the dude picking up sticks was obviously a rebel. I mean, something, and I don't think it was just some innocent dude that was out there grabbing some sticks. Homeboy probably had some oxen and a wagon and was sitting there, had his, everybody throwing sticks into a cart. And I doubt it was sticks. It was probably like logs and a bunch of other stuff. And, kindling fire back in the day isn't as like, popping on the propane today or, flicking a lighter. It was, it was labor intensive to do this. And, we're called to be set apart people, and so.
Richard James quoted Leviticus 6:13: "The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar; it shall never go out."
Yep. Trying to read what's it, Brohar?
It was
Oh.
the brother there, not
Oh,
the
okay.
that said it.
Okay, gotcha. Well, no, yeah, shout out to all you people hanging out with Sister Barb. Shout out to everybody out there hanging, listening, reading the stuff. This is an incredible time that we can spend together. I will tell you firsthand, Boss Clan doesn't have the answers to everything, right? We have some answers. We know what scriptures are, but there is a tremendous amount of wisdom in this little ecclesia that we have where, people are able to chime in. We're able to ask questions. We're trying to get to the bottom of stuff. And it is a Baruch time. It is a blessed time that we can sit here and roll with this. Okay. Yeah, making bank on Shabbat. No bueno. Exactly. Okay. Do not hearken to the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead.
You shall not eat any abominable thing.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that dies to itself, but you shall not eat of it. Give tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
The Torah and laws at the end of the 7-year release.
Do not borrow from the nations. Do not harden your heart, nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah. You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses. Hearken to the prophet who is chosen.
The prophet test of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line, right? How would you like this on the cross, right? Let's nail this one to the cross. Let's take, like my mom says, there's only 10 commandments, and in the 10 commandments, it doesn't say anything about eating food. Well, what about this, right? This is why religion is a dangerous thing when we don't have the moral compass of our Creator. Right here, we are told not to mess with a simple little thing, right? And everybody in all places, everybody puts their fence out, 4 inches more. Everybody's trying to get that extra little thing right here. But according to this, we would want to move our line probably in 4 inches and make sure that we're not taking over our neighbor's property line. That's the good instructions that our Creator has given to us, right? Everything in the Torah is absolutely astounding when it comes to how to run a life. And I don't know about you guys, but I would rather live under these laws, these statutes, these commandments than any government anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter what government it is. It matters that I want to fall under the hand of our Creator. I do not want to fall under the hand of man. And these are great commands. We shouldn't nail a single law to the cross. It's foolishness to even be there. And it's actually blasphemy. When you say that the words of our Creator are no longer valid, it's foolishness, and it's just a bad thing. And there's so much dogma and so much brokenness, and it's just a mess. Okay, continuing on. How to deal with false witnesses among Torah keepers.
First child's get double portions. If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies and not the mother. If you build a new house with a flat roof that is able to be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Do not be a prostitute.
Do not use dirty money. Torah of divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge.
Okay, let's talk about this real quick. Person's millstone for a pledge. Boss Clan has been getting into health. We're trying to really get healthy around here, and we were discussing this just the other day, Miss Nicole and I, over flour being bad. The way the steel mills came in the 1800s, and they grind the kind of flour that we have together, and then we live in a generation of very sick people, and all this food that we eat is completely processed. It's not really even food anymore, right? You have a skim milk. The skim milk is bad. All of this processed stuff that we have. Now, you have something here that is very interesting, because as I was trying to study the difference between the flour back in the days versus the flour of today's, the millstone came in. And, what you have, for those who don't know what a millstone is, there's several different kinds of it. One of it is just a giant rock, and you roll another rock around on it. And the thing about the flour of today is that all the nutrients, all the vitamins, all the main stuff that is in there have been taken out. Whereas when they were crushing up the grains back in the day, they left a lot of that in there, and it made it into the breads, and so things were a much more healthy. But this is the good instruction that our Creator has given to us, that a person's millstone was their family's way of eating, right? That is essentially how your family ate. And back in the days, it could have taken a woman or somebody many, many hours to actually get the flour that they need for a day. And so when we are tossing the laws of our Creator on the cross, and we look and see why is it that our Creator would not want us to take a person's millstone for a pledge, it's because we take away this family and these people's abilities to actually eat, to be able to make their own food. And this is not the kingdom people. We are not there to get rich and take other people's stuff to this extent that we're okay taking away a person's meal because they owe us something, right? This is the love and the power and the compassion and the greatness of this Torah, is that everything is taken into account for. Continuing on. If you lend to your brother, do not enter his house to get your payment. He must bring it to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge. And again, look at the greatness of that command in of itself, right? Our Creator doesn't want us to go owe somebody and take their clothes, right? If somebody owes you something, you take their clothes, give it back to them before sunset, right? Why would you make somebody naked at the expense of a couple shekels? Why would you hurt somebody to this extent, right? There's ways to collect on stuff and there's ways not to. And this is absolutely, our Creator does not want people living in this kind of a poverty where you don't have clothes, you don't have raiment, you don't have a way to make your bread. Beautiful commands. Continue on. Anyone?
Not oppress a hired servant that is poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin.
Do not go back to the forgotten sheep in the field, either for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain. If your brother dies and has no child, you should take his wife and name the firstborn after your brother.
At the end of 7 years, you are to read the Torah at the Feast of Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles.
Yeah, Sister Barb. Sometimes you have to love people in your family from afar. That is true. That is true. And it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy, especially for those of us with parents that are ailing and that have made very bad decisions in their life, and things that we have told them not to do, and we're laughing stock. My dear old mom, she finally stopped taking those one things that everybody was forced to take a while ago. She was like 5 or 6 into it, and now she very clearly said that I think it's that thing that I wasn't supposed to take that you told me to, but yet I'm sitting here begging her to keep the Torah. I'm begging her to keep these laws. Please, Mom. Could be your last moments in time, and yet here we are, and it's a big joke. It's just something that's like funny, ha 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 ha. And it's like, wow, I was right about this stuff, but yet somehow I'm just a laughing stock when it comes to this. And the religious system is sick. It really is. When you look at religion, when you look at it all, it is a sick place to be. All right, Jade, let's give us a quick breakdown of chapter 29, where we're at real quick, and see where we're at.
Chapter 30.
Chapter 30 is where we're at, yep.
So we are in the desert. We are quite a ways into the escape from Egypt. The people have gotten commands. They have gone to war with some of the nations. They have fought some giants. They've seen some giants. They got scared of giants and got kicked out of the land because they caused fear and panic in Israel, and they did not believe in their Creator who already rescued them and did many miraculous things. So now they are wandering the desert, and for 40 years they're just going in circles because they did not have faith. And now they are getting commandments. They are learning lots. Some of their people have gone astray, and they all got cursed for it. When people go astray in the camp, it sets the whole place on fire, literally and figuratively. And so the people are now getting more commandments. They learned last week. We learned about the feasts, what days we should do them, how we should do them, and stuff like that.
Yep, and before we go into that, one thing I do want to touch on is that not only is Boss Clan trying to get healthy, we're trying to bring fasting back to everybody. And for those that listen into the readings that we have on the weekdays, the ones that the normal week, you guys have, we've been telling you guys a little bit about the benefits of fasting. And I don't think that there's enough of us out there that fast. And I will tell you, it is something that is a health benefit. And it's something that what happens, guys, is fasting is something that when you are, if you do like a 3-day only water fast, there's a setup in your body. It's called autophagy. And autophagy is when it starts eating the old cells, old cancer cells, old dead brain cells, the stuff that creates brain fog, the stuff that makes you sick, the stuff that your body is not good at. Your body is so smart. Our Creator has made an incredible system, the inside of the system and the way that fasting works. The longer you can go with fasting, the more healthy it is and the stronger you will become. Those who are able to do, 5, 6, 7, 15-day fast, your body goes into a complete state of repair. Your bone marrow starts kicking out new stem cells. And we're in a crazy stem cell research place. That's another thing Mom was telling me about, is that some guy came to her house, was trying to sell him stem cells. And I told her, I said, it probably comes from aborted babies. She goes, no, it just comes from the umbilical cords of the babies. And I'm like, and you're going to be injecting this into your system. I said, this is a freak side of nature. Now, all these stem cells are $10, $20, $30, $40,000. You can generate brand new stem cells simply with a 5-day water fast. And so Boss Clan is beginning what is hopefully the longest fast that you can do, which is, it's 40, 50, 60 days. And so we are beginning this on Sunday. So for those of you guys out there that need a little support fasting group that's out there, we're starting last meal today on Shabbat. And we're going for as long as we can possibly go. And we're doing it for health reasons, for spiritual reasons, for all sorts of different reasons, and to see if we can do this. And it will not kill you. It will only make you stronger. And if you can make it past the first 5 or 6 days, it gets easier, right? The first week is the worst. It is the hardest. You definitely don't feel good. Now, some people actually do feel good, but I don't. Miss Nicole does. She kicks into gear. She's just all spun out and going sideways. She just does really good. With fasting, I feel like I've kind of been ran through a knot hole, but we're going to go at it. So anybody that wants to do this, we're beginning there, and check on the updates, and let's give ourselves, some spiritual support, and see what this can do for our bodies, and let us begin into this. There's that daughter of Abraham. We believe that a Hebrew day begins on sunset, and so it's sunset to sunset is how we celebrate Shabbat. There are people who will fight tooth and nail for a sunrise to sunrise. Everything I've found in scriptures that leads us to a sunset to sunset. So that is what we go with, but I've been fasting until 5 p.m. for 2 months for a breakdown through. Yeah, and as far as really truly what we should be eating is about a 6-hour window, what they call a 1 meal a day. The entire setup to where we are getting into breakfast, lunch, and dinner and snacking all between, it's not good for our bodies, and you can tell the world is very, very, very sick. And so we will let you know how this goes, and continue to encourage all of you guys out there to fast, to get through this, and to bring some health benefits back to the kingdom people. All right, here we are, Numbers 30. And Moshe spoke to the heads of the tribes concerning the children of Yisrael, saying, this is the word which Yahuwah has commanded. When a man vows a vow to Yahuwah, or swears an oath to bind himself by some agreement, he does not break his word. He does according to all that comes out of his mouth. Big stuff, right? This is one of these things that if you vow a vow to the creator of the universe, you would not want to mess this up. You would be tempting our creator. You would be being disloyal. So in the event that you guys decide for whatever reason that you will vow a vow to the Most High, do not break it. Understand it is a binding agreement that is for all times, all generations, all peoples. You do not stop with your oath. Very important stuff. We've had stuff in this house that we have done, as so our entire lives have been changed for a better, because we have known that we cannot break an oath to the Most High.
And you see there's no, okay, this is what you do if you break it. It's just, there's nothing.
Yeah.
You obey, you do the vow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? You've got to be committed to this, right? It's not one of these things that, you're going to swear to Elohim. You're going to get hurt by doing such a thing.
You got to be careful what you say, think before you start making vows.
Yeah. Would a vow be if I tell Yahuwah the next man that takes me out on a date will be my husband? Then I went on a date after I prayed that. Does that mean I must remain single until he marries me? Wow.
That's real hard.
That is a tough one. Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. You got to be very, very, very careful of what you are making an oath to our Creator, right? Some people are never meant to get married, right? Some people are meant to be set apart. Some people are meant to, be by themselves. I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying you got to be very, very, very careful. And then, yeah, I mean, I would agree with Sister Barb as well. You're not, and this is the same for my kids, right? And my boys are 21 years old. Eli's 18. They have never, outside of their mother, held a woman's hand. They've never kissed. They have never dated, right? And we are the anomaly, right? I've talked about the gals that are always hitting. There's cougars always trying to take out my kids. It is one of these things, they don't understand it, right? And like one of the gals that was trying to hit on my kid, she's like, oh, you don't want to date? She's like trying to hook everybody up with the dates and all these women and all this stuff. And she's like, oh, I get a new boyfriend every 3 months. And we're like, wow, that's filthy. That is nasty. And, not only is it an abomination to our Creator, you're looking for a wife. You're not looking for a date or a good time, right? It is something that when our Creator has for you and set that person apart for you, you'll know, right? And a very big qualification of who is properly the person in your life is when you look your beloved in the eyes and you back and forth and you look at each other, the first question that you have with this big grin is which is your favorite of the commandments. And if they look at you like, go, what? You're like, well, have a good day. That's it. Goodbye. Right? If somebody doesn't even know the Torah and you're going to be the only Torah-based person in their life, they're probably already defiled Gentiles that you're not going to want to be leading your family or a part of your family. Now, there are exceptions. I understand that. And there's a lot of people that have come into Torah afterwards and various things of this nature. But I'm telling you, Yahuwah will bring the right person to you. And you're not going to have to do this. And so...
she wants to know, was that a vow?
Yeah, probably. I mean, that was probably a vow to the Most High. That's why we have to be extremely careful when we take these vows to our Creator. It would probably be a vow.
Richie James says, I made a vow and I would do a 7-day fast for Yah, and I ended up coming 4 hours short. It's been haunting me. I have to complete it, right, brother?
I would. I mean, I would continue on. I would get that 7-day fast in, and I would complete your vow. If in the event of things like this that you can actually do it and complete that vow, absolutely, right?
If you only came 4 hours short, that's 4 hours and 7 days. You can finish 4 hours.
Yeah, but I mean,
consecutive.
you'd need 7 days, or consecutive
Yeah,
7 days. So
you
you
need
need
a full 7 days, but you can finish it. If you only missed 4 hours, you can totally power through another 7
Yeah,
days.
you can definitely do it. If you made it to 7, you'll be all right. And I mean, we've watched the real doctors, not these white coat psychopaths that are out there, but the guys that are trying to get everybody off the medications, everybody that's trying to get everyone to fast. And it's not going to kill you, right? You may feel like it's going to kill you, but as far as you dying, it's not. We watch these guys that just did a 40-day fast, and he had no real spiritual weight. He was just doing it because he wanted to see what he was made of. And he said it was tough. But he had a little heart monitor on. He kept taking his blood work. He kept testing out all this stuff to make sure he wasn't dying. And you're not going to die, right? Again, you are not going to die. We are meant. In fact, there was a dude that was like 400 pounds, and the dude fasted water only for 340 days. He lost 250 pounds. Our body stores this stuff in the event. And if you think back in the days when people didn't have, meals all the time, that you might have had to do a kill and you might have had to wait a couple days to eat. We're not meant to eat in this processed food world that we are in right now, and it's a danger to our lives and health by far. All right, we are way out in the weeds today.
I know, but daughter Abraham wants to come back. She wants
What do
me
we
to
got?
read all this. So
Okay.
it says,
What do you got?
Will God make him do it, since I asked God to not let any man do it but my husband? And he's the only man.
Make him do what? Marry her?
I don't know. Take her on a date. I don't know. That's why I said I only want to date my husband, because I don't date anybody. Meaning, God, do not let any man do it unless he's my husband. I don't believe in dating any man, but my husband, does the vow still stand?
Yeah. I mean, technically the vow stands, right? But it's like we got to be very, very careful. There's stuff we do in ignorance that I believe Yah will forgive us for. I would not be rushing into a relationship with an individual because of this, and he didn't take you on a date or something of the sort, right? Only Yah has the spouse that you are meant for, right? I mean, you could get into some crazy abusive relationship or something, not really knowing who this guy is. There's a lot to be said for, prior communications, emails, getting to know these people without, the kind of dating stuff, right? I mean, it like Sister Barb says, it always ends up being physical. And then all of a sudden, according to Torah, you guys have, if you don't stay together after getting intimate in that bed, you have broken wedlock. You have broken, you've made somebody an adulterer. You've become an adulterer. There's all sorts of bad things that we have been getting in there. So I don't know if Yah's going to make him marry her. I don't know. I mean, this is
up to Yah.
yeah.
It's
This
not.
is pray to Yah. Fast, seek Yah. Consult him in all of this stuff. And sometimes you can start fasting until you can get clarity with a lot of stuff, right? Sometimes in this agonizing stomach ache of being hungry, that there are answers that are coming to us. And I believe that Yah listens to us far more in this state of, keeping ourselves a little bit more pure than just always stuffing ourselves. So, sis, seek Yah through all of this stuff. Beg for forgiveness on this entire thing. Beg it out of ignorance. That's the best you can do. But don't pursue this marriage or something of the sort based upon a rushing of a relationship. Right? Let Yah work His will. Let Him find the right spouse for you, and they will come along. I know it's easy to jump into things. I know it's really easy to get ahead of ourselves in a lot of this stuff, but it's one of these things that if it's the right person, it will eventually come to fruition. All right. Anything else? Are we good? Yeah. I think so. That's true. Yeah. Richie James, you're right. When you make a vow to Yahuwah, your Elohim, do not delay to pay it. For Yahuwah Elohim is certainly requiring it of you. Yeah. This is one thing, right? People do it all the time. The big thing is like, oh, I swear to God. That's just a way of, that's what they say, right? Oh, I swear to God. Like, yeah, like most people are literally lying when they say things of this nature, but it's a big thing, right? The creator of the universe, who's in control of absolutely everything, you would not want to make a vow unless you absolutely run through it, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Okay, let us roll into this. Again, 3. Or if a woman vows a vow to Yahuwah and binds herself by some agreement while in her father's house in her youth, and her father hears her vow and the agreement by which she has bound herself, and her father has kept silent towards her, then all her vow shall stand, and every agreement with which she has bound herself stands. So a little bit more clarity on this entire vow thing, right? If you are a father of a daughter and she's like doing some kind of crazy vow, he's like, whoa, this is not happening. This is not going to be happen. Do not take her at her word on this, right? Parents should know best. 5. But if her father forbids her on the day that he hears, then none of her vows nor her agreements by which she has bound herself stand. And Yahuwah pardons her because her father has forbidden her. I think this is good news for daughter of Abraham right here, right? This is something that if you have made this vow to Yahuwah, right? Yahuwah pardons her because her father has forbidden her. Beg to Father Yahuwah, right? Beg to him that this was done in ignorance. It was done. It was just obviously not the right thing, rushing in. And I don't think Yah will hold us when we are repentant and we don't continue back into that same kind of path, and we understand how valid and how strong a vow to Yahuwah is. 6. But if she at all belongs to a husband, while bound by her vows or by a rash utterance from her lips by which she bound herself, and her husband hears it, and he is kept silent towards her on the day that he hears, then her vows shall stand, and her agreements by which she bound herself do stand. But if her husband forbids her on the day that he hears it, then he has nullified her vow which she vowed, and the rash of utterance of her lips by which she bound herself, and Yahuwah pardons her. But any vow of a widow or a divorced woman by which she has bound herself stands against her. So we're getting all sorts of stuff in here, right? Ms. Nicole, what do you got?
Daughter of Abraham says it's like Abraham's servant. He said that the woman who drew water, so she had to marry Isaac, right? She didn't have to marry Isaac. That was
Well, that was a sign. I mean, that whole thing was a sign, and that came because recap. Anybody want to recap this?
So, Abraham prayed. He said, "Please let the person, if they bring out water to my son."
It wasn't Abraham. It was
Eleazar.
Eleazar.
Okay, Eleazar prayed like the woman, bring water to my master's son. Let her be the one.
Yeah, and so that was essentially a sign. It wasn't more like a vow of any kind right there.
Brian says it was Yah's will, exactly.
Yeah.
Daughter Abraham says, I didn't rush. For 7 years I prayed over every guy I met, and no man God allowed except him. What are your thoughts?
Always listen to the voice of Yah, right? Make sure, though, it is the voice of the Elohim Most High, right? Make sure it's not something that we're trying to, rush or anything of the sort. I mean, if you spent 7 years praying, but again, if you think that because of this vow that you made that Yahoo will force this guy to marry you and he doesn't marry you, that's things that can definitely destroy people's faith, right? You can think one thing, but especially when you read the book of Second Ezra, right? We don't know the greatness of Yahuwah, right? We see things in a human way. We see things as great as we can see. We see the sun rising, the moon and the stars circling around us, but we don't know how to weigh fire. We don't know how to measure wind. In this day, of course, yes, we can measure wind, we can weigh fire. But back in the day, those are things that, when Ezra was trying to get the deeper secrets of the world, that's what our creator, Uriel, the messenger, said was, tell us, Ezra, how do you do this? He's like, if you can answer this to me, then I will answer you some of the greater things of the Shamayim. We don't know what the kingdom is like. We don't know. We can get brief glimpses of all of this stuff. And like I said, some people are never ever meant to get married. Some people are meant to be set apart in a very special way. So listen to the words of Yah, fast and pray, and seek him through all of this. Okay, let's roll on here. We're in the weeds today. Okay. 8, 9, I think.
Yeah, I think we're on 10.
Let's try 9 again. But any vow of a widow or a divorced woman, I think you're right, by which she has bound herself stands against her. And if she vowed in her husband's house or bound herself by an agreement with an oath, and her husband heard it and has kept her silent towards her and did not forbid her, then all her vows shall stand, and every agreement by which she bound herself stands. But if her husband clearly nullified them on the day he heard them, then whatever came from her lips concerning her vows or concerning the agreement binding her, it does not stand. Her husband has nullified them, and Yahuwah pardons her. Big stuff. Every vow and every binding oath to afflict her being, let her husband confirm it, or let her husband nullify it. But if her husband is altogether silent at her from day to day, then he confirms all her vows or all the agreements that bind her. He confirms them, because he kept silent towards her on the day that he heard. But if he nullifies them after he has heard, then he shall bear her wickedness. These are the laws which Yahuwah commanded Moshe, between a man and his wife, and between a father and his daughter, in her youth, in her father's house. Okay, so there we are. A lot of discussion points here today. Yes, let us get into the next thing. We are into Luke 12.
Yeah,
Okay, so yes, guys, and there's always a lot of discussion, right? This is the fun stuff about hanging out in this little itty bitty ecclesia, is that we can discuss all this stuff and get it down. And it may not just be daughter of Abraham that's struggling with this stuff. There will probably be lots of people that come throughout the years or times that they can listen to this. A lot of people get into struggles. A lot of times we don't know the answers for things. And the best we can do is, when we do foul up, is seek repentance. Fasting, praying, and making sure that Yah is on our side, and making sure, especially if we do stuff in ignorance, plead ignorance, do the very best we can, but understand now and throughout all time that if we make a vow to the Most High, it stands in stone, at the risk of horrible things possibly happening because you have tempted our Creator when you have claimed that you are going to do a vow to Him. Okay. Let us roll into this. Jade, we are into the book of Luke. Luke is 12. Jade, give me a recap, please.
So we are in the days of Yahushua's ministries. He found his 12. He also sent out 72 others by foot to teach. And then they asked him, Master, how do we pray? And so he taught his tummy how to pray, his disciples. And then he started teaching parables, asking people about giving gifts. And they wanted signs in the Shamaim, and he said they're not going to get it. And the Pharisees started accusing him of being Satan's person from Satan's place. And he's like, Satan can't cast out Satan. You can't take Beelzebub to cast out the demons. And then he healed people and told them about Jonah, that he was the only sign they were going to get because they're such a wicked generation. It is the same sign for them. And then Yehoshua did more parables and teaching and cast out some demons.
Yeah, absolutely. So these are great books. The Basora is great. I love all scriptures. I know there are some discrepancies here and there. People seem to get hung up on them a tremendous amount of time. And the thing that we can't really get hung up on, which are valid, is the Torah, right? That's one thing that has been established in the scriptures, has been established for all times. It never changes. Our Creator never changes. And the things that we all seem to get stuck up on just a little bit are things that really don't matter. They are, a detail here, a detail there. And these are amazing books, right? These are things when we have our Messiah and he's walking amongst these Pharisees and Sadducees. And for those who do not know, and those coming out of the Christian religion, especially, the deep Christian religions, they all think that there's God's chosen people are hanging out in Yisrael right now. And if you bless them, then you're going to be blessed. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say anything like that at all. And so we want to align our lives to the way that our Messiah walked. And our Messiah did not come running some rebel flag. He did not come with a new set of guidelines. He did not come tell us that the Torah is gone or nullified, or that he came to die, that the Torah could be rejected or revoked. That's blasphemy. And so those are all lies that a lot of us have inherited. We've all fallen away from the actual scriptures, and it doesn't take much to come back into scriptures, right? We have to not be lazy. We have to read these scriptures for ourselves. We have to undo the traditions of men that we've all inherited, that our parents have taught us, all the evil speak that comes with tossing the laws in the trash, and we have to come back to what our Messiah said. So Lucas 12, here we are. Meanwhile, when an innumerable crowd of people had gathered together, so that they trampled one another, he began to say to his Talmudim, first, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Now, Ms. Nicole, what's leaven?
Yeast, baking powder, baking soda.
Rising agent.
Yeah, rising agent. Some sort of rising agent. I don't think you could hear her. She was like talking like a mouse from afar.
Well, I was reading comments. Sorry.
Okay, so one more time. What is leaven?
It is like yeast, baking powder, baking soda, stuff that makes his bread rise.
Okay, and what happens if you have something funky with a leaven? What does it do?
Oh, sourdough's also leaven. You make your own.
Right. What happens?
It can make it go flat. It can make it bitter.
So what happens if your leaven is like corrupted of some kind?
Then it ruins the whole thing.
It ruins the entire thing. Yeah. So she's a cook. She's a professional cook. So is Eli. So I just thought I'd throw her on the spot. 2, and whatever is concealed shall be revealed, and whatever is hidden shall be known. So whatever you have said in the dark shall be heard in the light, and what you have spoken in the ear in inner rooms shall be proclaimed on the housetops. All right, these are heavy things, right? These are things that Our Creator knows our intentions. He knows our hearts. He knows our words. And there's a lot of us that need to deal with the wrong way of conducting ourselves in the world that we are in. A lot of times we are part of bad jokes. A lot of times we are laughing at inconsiderate things that we shouldn't be laughing at, saying things, right? Once it rolls off the tongue, it is beyond just being in your mind, right? It's one thing to have a corrupted mind and a corrupted heart. The next thing is to use one of the members that our Creator has said and create evil. Once you have said it, you can't undo it. And I mention this a lot, but we're going to be standing before our Creator naked, and we're going to be hearing all of these bad things in the day of judgment. It's going to be a rough time. I don't think judgment is going to be good for anybody. I hope we have more mercy. I hope those who are in Torah, those who love our Elohim, I hope there's a little bit more merciful, but I am not thinking that the day of judgment is going to be something phenomenal or something great. So we need to make sure that what we are saying are things of the kingdom, that they are things to build people up. Yeah, back in the school, we had this little, this teacher we had, and she talked about this thing that all of us are buckets. And when we have a bucket, all of us have a ladle. And when we say bad things about other people, we're taking a ladle of this water out and we're tossing it. And it will come to where you are either having what she called the bucket dipper duel, where you would sit there and you would just insult each other, and every time that you insult somebody, part of your bucket's coming out. But when you say promising things, when you say things that will build people up, when you say things that will help them out in their walk, then you take it out of your bucket, but nothing ever comes out of your bucket. And so you're able to add into their bucket, and the good things are that everybody should have a full bucket. This is what it is, right? We don't want to be on the other side of this, that all these horrible things that we've said are going to be revealed in a time of judgment that is going to be very embarrassing. We need to align our lives, cling our hearts, cling our minds, cling our souls, and be kingdom people. 4. But I say to you, my friends, do not be afraid of those who kill the body and after that are unable to do any more. But I shall show you whom you should fear. Fear the one who, after killing, possesses authority to cast into Gehenna. Yes, I say to you, fear him, right? Do not fear the devil, right? The devil and all these people, all the world, they're not going to be able to do more than kill your body, right? And at the end of the day, those of us who are kingdom people, when we die, that's an exciting time, right? We're going to be crossing over. People will cling to life to the point of injecting a daggum a Neuralink on the top of their skulls and try to regain longevity, right? You become half robots just not to become dead. So these are the people that are killing the body, right? Who cares if we get old? Who cares if we become feeble? Who cares? It's all a cycle of life, and death is an opportunity that all of us must take this journey and must take it. And it's one of these things that we got to guard our souls. We got to make sure that what we're doing in this world is not of Hasatan, and that we are kingdom people. This is our only opportunity for this testing, and we have to fear the one who can take our soul and forget the body. 6, are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 copper coins, and not one of them is forgotten before Elohim? Do even the hairs of your head have all been numbered? But even the hairs of your head have all been numbered. Do not fear. You are worth more than many sparrows. Big stuff, right? A lot of people think they fall into this funk and like, Elohim doesn't love me. Things aren't going right. I'm broke. I can't pay my power bill. Why isn't God taking care of us? What's going on, right? Understand that our Creator knows your count of hairs on your head. He knows how many freckles you have on your shoulders, your back, your face. He knows how many hairs, everything. Every hair, everywhere is what He knows. And He loves you, and He has made you in a spectacular fashion. So understand that He has your best interests at stake. And in this world, we are meant to be tested. We are not meant to have our best life now. This is not the what's that guy, the Satanist guy?
Joel Osteen.
Joel Osteen. We're not to have this Joel Osteen style world where, yeah, this is the prophet. This is when you have money, you know you're doing good, right? It's better to be broke and have a shot at the kingdom than it is to be just sitting here, you know, rich as heck and not ever be able to make it through. 8. And I say to you, everyone who confesses before men the Ben of Adam, the son of Adam, shall also confess him before the messengers of Elohim. But he that has denied me before men shall be denied before the messengers of Elohim. Now, this is a big thing because everyone in the Christian religion, they say, Lord, Lord, have we not cast out demons in your name? Have we not done wonderful things in your name? Have we not healed the sick in your name? Right? But yet you're not confessing the Messiah of the Son of the Most High to people, right? It's a fake Messiah. It is a fake person. This person that is a lawless individual that has created a new religion called Christianity is not the same Messiah, Yahushua, who came doing the will of his Father, doing the word, all of this, right? So we need to make sure we are confessing the proper Son of the Most High to make these statements continued on. Because the Christians will definitely confess Jesus. That's all they do. That's all they have, and they will pray to the Holy Spirit as they eat their pig. 10. And everyone who shall speak a word against the Ben of Adam, it shall be forgiven him. But to him who is blasphemed against the Ruach HaKodesh, it shall not be forgiven. What do we mean by this? How is this even possible? Well, the Ruach HaKodesh is an extension of our Creator. It is the power of our Creator. It is what's roaming around. It should be roaming through us. It is the power that we have when we cling our hearts, cling our minds, cling our souls, and we allow the Ruach HaKodesh to enter into us, into our temples. This is what we are supposed to have. So when you are blaspheming against the Ruach HaKodesh, when you say the word of our Creator has been nailed to the cross, when you say it doesn't matter, it's for the old school people of Moshe, you're blaspheming against the Ruach HaKodesh. The Ruach HaKodesh was with Moshe as he was ministering to the people. The Ruach HaKodesh was a part of our Messiah. And when you go against the Ruach HaKodesh, it sounds very fatal. This is one of the only sins that I have come across inside of Scriptures that it's not something that is forgivable. And so we have to be very, very careful with what we say and how we say it, because we do not want to get on the wrong side of our Creator. 11. And when they bring you to the congregations and rulers and authorities, do not worry about how or what you should answer or what you should say. For the Ruach HaKodesh shall teach you in the very hour what you should say. And we've seen this before. We've been drugged before the authorities. We've been drugging through before the rulers before. We've been drugged into court. And it is very clear that you don't really need to rehearse things, that in the event of whatever is happening, and you just happen to come up with the right answer, well, that's probably the Ruach HaKodesh that's helping you out, right? It's probably enabling you not to get into issues, is enabling you to say the right kind of things. So, no, daughter of Abraham, is it okay to pray to the Holy Spirit? No. That's what Lex from Unlearn the Lies. That guy gets out there and tells everybody, yeah, I pray sometimes to Jesus, sometimes I pray to Elohim, and then sometimes I pray to the Holy Spirit.
Depends how I'm feeling.
Yeah, that's literally said. Just depends on how I'm feeling. Guys, our Messiah very clearly told us how to pray, and how are we supposed to pray?
Our Father who art in heaven.
Our Father who art in heaven. Our Messiah gave us the way to actual prayer, and he didn't say, Messiah Yahushua who art in front of me, hallowed be thy name. You know, this is a prayer that our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. What is thy will? Thy will is that mankind is in the Torah, that we are obedient, lawful children to the Most High. So we have to be very, very careful. Yeah, you would not want to pray to the Ruach. Yes, you would want to pray to our Creator. That's where your prayers will get heard, which takes us into the Catholic religion, right? Where do all those prayers go, right? They pray to Mary, Peter, Paul. They pray to everybody, but they do not pray to the Most High. And they say that, oh yeah, we just pray to Mary because she's an intercessory, right? I'm sure she was a great woman. I'm sure she was obviously a woman above most women and had a spirit about her that was very, very humble, very, very pure in the fact that she could actually be the housing unit for our Messiah. but there's nowhere in scriptures that lifts her up into any form of deity. There's no way that you would put your rosary beads on and pray to Mother Mary. Continuing on. 13. And someone from the crowd said to him, "Teacher, speak to my brother to divide the inheritance with me." But he said to him, "Man, who made me a judge or divider over you?" And he said to them, "Mind and beware of greed, because one's life does not consist in the excess of his possessions." Very big stuff, right? The thing I've noticed about people with a lot of money is that you start protecting your money. You start thinking that money is everything and that you absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, need to get more, right? And those who get more money just need more and more and more and more until that's all that they worry about, right? And the last thing that we're going to have when we take a final breath is not our possessions. It's going to have our soul. We're going to pack our soul with a little suitcase, a virtual suitcase, and we're going to walk out of this land and we're going to go to a land of judgment. We're going to go to a land of separation and figure out if we're making it to the next step or if we are going to hang out with the bad folks, right? So forget about money, forget about possessions, forget about getting ahead and all of this stuff, right? We need to have our focus on our walk with our Creator. 16. He then spoke a parable to them, saying, "The land of a certain rich yielded well. And he was reasoning within himself, saying, What shall I do, because I have no room to store my crops? And he said, I am going to do this, pull down my storehouses and build greater, and store all my crops and my goods there. Then say to myself, Life, you've made many good. Like life, you have many good laid up for many years. Take your ease, eat, drink, rejoice." But Elohim said to him, "You mindless one, this night your life shall be demanded from you, and who shall own what you have prepared? So is he who is storing up treasure for himself and is not rich toward Elohim." You know, throughout the different Apocrypha books, it is very, very clear that we need to be establishing a Shamayim credit card, right? Every single thing that we do down here is either a net negative or a net positive. And at the end of the day, all we have is this testing land of the 120 years that we have been given, that we are told we need to make the most of this. And it's not making the most as we hoard money, as we do whatever it takes to get money, as we stomp on our fellow people to get money. That's not what we're doing, right? Riches do not get us into the Shamayim. It just does not. And so this fella that tore down all this stuff, that was building it all up, right? Who did he build it up for, right? The people that came and took the inheritance, the kids, whoever it was. And they probably did the exact same thing, right? So as you're sitting here plotting and wasting your time trying to get rich, you could absolutely be enabling your time by reading scriptures, by aligning your life, by fishing for men, right? By telling people about the Torah, telling people about all of this kind of stuff that is out there.
Read to James. Is storing up treasures doing work for the kingdom, out helping win back souls for Yah?
Is storing up treasures doing work for the kingdom? I guess it depends upon your intent, right? You know, when you look at those, I don't have a better example than the Hallelujah Scriptures, right? They may have gotten into this with the best intent at the end, but what they have done is they have literally become filthy, filthy, filthy rich. And when you look at all the ledgers and all the bank accounts, you don't have orphans, widows, and lepers like they claim, right? And so you may get into this and say, you know what, I'm doing all of this for the kingdom. But at the end, absolute power and absolute money corrupt absolutely. And so you must absolutely make sure that if your vow, and that's the thing, is Yah's not, some people become filthy rich and some people are serving Elohim, right? Some people are the greatest. It depends on if you are literally fighting for your kingdom or fighting for your land kingdom. Are you fighting for your worldly possessions right here, and all of a sudden, you know, you get 10 grand in your account, I want another 10. And then that 10, and like, well, let's make 20. And, you know, you're doing this on the backs of those people who you should be helping, right? This is why if you're making a vow to the kingdom and Yah makes you filthy rich, then we better continue on with that vow for the kingdom. We better do what we have said we're going to do. So, yeah, Sister Barb, drop the seed, he will plant it if he desires. That is all we are asked to do. Yep, exactly. Drop the seed, and the seed is either going to fall on good ground, it's going to fall on the rocks, it's going to fall where the birds come and eat it up. Yahuwah will do this, but we are the Johnny Appleseeds, right? We are the people that should be out flinging the seeds and doing the will of our Creator. Just sitting back, making more money, but we're struggling at the kingdom ourselves, and we're definitely not fishing for men. That is a very, very bad thing to do. Okay. Anyone know where we're at? 22?
I'm on 22.
Okay.
Yeah, 22.
Okay. 22. Let me do 21 again. So is he who is storing up treasure for himself and is not rich toward Elohim? That's what we're after, right? That credit card from the Shamim. And he said to his Talmidim, for this reason I say to you, do not worry about your life, what you shall eat, nor about the body, what you shall put on. The life is more than the food, and the body is more than the clothing. Look at the ravens, for they neither sow nor reap, which have neither storehouse nor granary, and Elohim feeds them. How much more valuable are you than the birds? And I make this example a lot because we do live in the jungles, which means we have a wide array of every kind of critter that is in and around here. And we don't see these critters sitting alongside the road with little signs that say, feed me, right? The birds are always sitting on some little pole singing. Things are always looking around. The birds are all fed. The insects are all fed. The cycle of our Creator's beautiful handiwork, everybody eats, right? That is the thing. And so when all these little things, the grasshopper is eating and the frog is eating and all these things, nobody's sitting around starving to death. Our Creator knows, and he has built this for us. So us sitting around worrying about all this stuff, it's only going to make things much worse. Did you have something, Mr. Cole?
Nope.
Okay. 25. And which one of you, by worrying, is able to add one pekis to his lifespan? Okay, that's a huge thing in and of itself, right? All of us, I spent years and years and years worrying about stuff, and blood pressure was high, sickness was ensuing, everything, right? And who is going to live any longer by worry? The thing about worrying is that we make our body sick. The body can absolutely make itself sick, and it can also make itself well. And so by sitting here fretting, by sitting in anger, by sitting there doing things that we have no control of, what good is this, right? What good is this? Somebody rips you off. Somebody takes 300 grand from you. Somebody takes all your kids' inheritance. What are you going to do, right? What are you going to sit there and plot their misery, plot their death, sit there and hate on them? It's water under the bridge, right? Money comes, money goes. The world is not meant to sit here and build these shekels up and to worry about anything other than the kingdom walk. The kingdom walk, it will take care of itself. Our Creator, he doesn't want you hungry. Do we have to go hungry sometimes? Maybe we've had to skip some meals. Maybe we've run into difficulties. Maybe we can't pay our power bills. That's just the world we live in, right? We live in this world. Our Creator knows what's up, and he doesn't want you fretting. He doesn't want you worried. He has you, right? He has us. Don't worry. Be happy. Continuing on. 26. If then you are unable to do the least, why do you worry about the rest? Look at the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. And I say to you, even Shalomah in all his esteem was not dressed like one of these. And if Elohim so clothes the grass which today exists in the field and tomorrow is thrown into the furnace, how much more you, oh, you of little belief, right? What we're learning about this is about faith, about the understanding that our Elohim has created us, and this is our Father. We have earthly fathers, we have earthly mothers, and they sometimes aren't the greatest, right? Sometimes they have really, really, really let us down. But we have a Father in the Shamayim who has never let us down. He has never, ever forsaken us. He's never, ever let us to dwindle. Whatever testing has come our way may not very well be from him. It may be from Hasatan that has decided they want to test us, and he's allowed it to happen, right? Don't worry. Have faith. You're not going to starve to death. Our Creator will make sure this is not happening. 29. And do not seek what you shall eat or what you shall drink, and do not keep worrying. For the Gentiles of the world seek all these, and your Father knows that you need these, right? Just like us as parents know our kids need food. We know they need clothes. We know all of this stuff. How much more does the creator of the universe know about all of us, right? All of this. And this is a funny verse here because it talks about the Gentiles of the world seek all these. Now you have this Christian religion, and they have actually made Gentile a good word. They're like, oh yeah, Gentiles, we're saved. No, you're not. Gentiles aren't saved. Being a Gentile means you are out of covenant. It means that you are like the world, taste like the world, smell like the world. A Gentile is not a good word. It's not a good set of people. We don't want to be Gentiles. Hebrew 8 talks about two different houses that make the kingdom. The house of Yisrael and the house of Yahudah. It doesn't say house of Gentile. A Gentile is not a law-abiding person of the Most High. 31. But seek the reign of Elohim, and all these shall be added to you. What should be added to us? Clothes, food, security, all of this stuff, right? If we're seeking the reign of Elohim, how do we seek the reign of Elohim? Well, we keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. We have the faith of our Messiah. We're doing what our Messiah says as we fish for men. As we seek those, as we go around planting seeds, as we're being this Johnny Appleseed that's always telling people about the Torah, as we get mocked and laughed at, and all the Gentiles just scoff at us. Oh, you don't eat pig. You're in a cult. Ha, ha, ha. All you can do is just feel really, really, really bad for them. 32, do not fear, little flock, because your Father delights to give you the rain. Sell your possessions and give in kindness. Make yourselves purses which do not grow old, a treasure in the Shamaim that does not fail, where no thief comes near nor moth destroys. We've heard about this before, right? All this stuff that we possess, right? We came down here from the States and we brought all these clothes, we brought all this garbage, we brought all this stuff, and we're just like, oh, we're going to save ourselves out in the middle of the jungle. You know what we ended up doing with most everything? Burning it, throwing it away. The moths, the mold, and all of this stuff in a tropical rainforest completely ate through everything. Everything. Wooden stuff, gone. All of this, right? It doesn't survive. Nothing survives. All of this stuff that I did for my family that I thought I was going to save us all, it all became a laughing stock in parts of Scripture, which I can tell you guys today that you shouldn't be doing. I'd done it. It didn't work. And the Scriptures are exactly right. We've had the thieves come and steal our stuff. We've had the moths come and destroy it. We've had the everything, right? Nothing in this world is worth keeping unless it's your soul. And there's no way that we can keep our soul without the kingdom walk. 34. For where your treasure is, there your heart shall be also. Very true, right? What do you have value in? Do you have value in the Scriptures? Do you have value in the ways of the kingdom? Do you have value in the words of our Messiah and the words of the Torah? Right? Because if we're involved in the Torah, then we know that others should hear the Torah. When we know the Torah, it becomes extremely exciting because we're like, there's something better. Look at this, guys. It's not once saved, always saved. It's not the Romans road to Christ. We have a better way forward that we can do, that we can have more security than this simple thinking that we can ask Jesus to forgive us all our sins and follow a new religion that's not even in the Scriptures. 35, let your loins be girded and your lamps burning, and be like men waiting for their master when he shall return from the wedding, that when he comes and knocks, they open him immediately. Blessed, Baruch, are those servants whom the master when he comes shall find watching. Truly, I say to you that he shall gird himself and make them sit down to eat, and shall come and serve them. And if he comes in the second watch or in the third watch and finds them so, Baruch are those servants. And know this, that if the master of the house had known what hour the thief comes, he would have watched and not allowed his house to be broken into. Okay? Understand this, right? This is an incredible stuff. This is all talking about all of us that lose our way, that we get involved in this world, that we take our eyes off the ball, that we decide that there's more things to worry about in this world than it is about worrying about if our soul is secured in the kingdom to come. But if we had known that Messiah is coming December 3rd, 2027, we would have been getting our lives aligned, right? It may be in this lifetime, it may be in the next lifetime, but I will tell you, at somebody's lifetime, it's going to happen, and we need to be ready. We need to have our lamps burning. We need to be these people that are not stuck in this world. 40, and you, Then be ready, for the Ben of Adam is coming at an hour you do not expect. And Kepha said to him, Peter, Adonai, do you speak this parable to us or also to all? And the Adon said, who then is trustworthy and a wise manager, whom his master shall appoint over his household, to give the portion of food in due season? Baruch is that servant whom his master shall find doing when he comes. Right? Are we seeking the kingdom? Are we planting? Are we doing the will of our Creator? Are we doing the will of His Son? Are we these people? Or are we doing everything else? Are we watching these terrible movies? Are we watching HBO and off in La La Land doing everything possible? Or are we seeking our Creator? 45. But if the servant says in his heart, my master is delaying his coming, and begins to beat the male servants and female servants, and to eat and drink and be drunk, the master of that servant shall come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour that he does not know, and shall cut him in two and appoint his portion with the unbelievers. And that servant who knew his master's desire and did not prepare, nor did according to his desire, shall be beaten much. Okay, what is the master's desire, gentlemen?
Keep his commands.
Keep the Torah. Keep the laws, statutes, and commandments. Keep your family, the laws, statutes, and commandments, be a part of the kingdom people. Right? We don't want to be beaten much. That sounds grim. 48. But he who did not know, yet did what deserved flogging, shall be beaten with few. And everyone to whom much is given, from him much shall be demanded. And to whom much has been entrusted, from him much more shall be asked. I came to send fire on the earth, and how I prefer it were already kindled. Big stuff, right? Messiah is just like, man, I wish you guys had been a little more on fire than what this was. He's having to start this. He's having to start the revolution. And the revolution isn't a lawless revolution. It isn't a join the Christian religion and get saved and have altar calls and baptisms and eat pork. It's just, that's not it. In fact, that is the anti-Christ. That is the anti-Messiah, anti-Yahuwah, anti-Torah. 50. But I have an immersion to be immersed with, and how distressed I am until it is accomplished. Here's the human side of our Messiah, right? Having to know his final destination, knowing he's going to be handed over to the hands of man, into the Roman soldiers, into this trials and tribulations that no man on earth should ever have to deal with. He doesn't want to do it, right? He's only there because this is what his dad wants him to do. He would not be doing this if this was his choice. And actually, he would be doing this as his choice. He wants to do what his dad wants him to do, but he also says very fervently that if there's another way, please make it happen. I'd rather not be doing this. 51. Do you think that I came to give peace on earth? I say to you, no, but rather division. From now on, 5 in one house shall be divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. Father shall be divided against son, and son against daughter, mother against daughter, and daughter against mother, mother-in-law against her daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And he also said to the crowds, when you see a cloud rising out of the west, immediately you say, a storm is coming. And so it is. And then you see the south wind blow. You say, there shall not be hot weather. There shall be hot weather. And it is. Hypocrites, you know to discern the face of the Shamayim and of the earth, but how is it you do not discern this time? And also, do you not judge for yourselves what is right? For as you go with your opponent to a ruler, try hard along the way to settle with him, lest he drag you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and the officer throw you into prison. I say to you, you shall certainly not leave there until you have paid even the last coin. All right, and there it is. So there we go, everybody.
So Brandy asked if we could talk about the feasts at the end of this. So
Sure. Well, let's go over the feast. Mr. Cole, what do you got?
So we use the Zadok or Zadiki calendar, and so the Feast of Trumpets will be September 17th is when we'll be doing it.
Okay, can you paste that? Did you paste that in there? The
I
actual
haven't, but I will. And then Day of Atonement we have as September 26th. Day of Sukkot, first day is October 1st, and the 8th day, Shemini Atzeret, is October 8th. The boys' birthday.
Yeah, and so it's one of these things that the calendars are a very confusing thing because there is a lot of them. A lot of people have calendars. A lot of people have it. Here's the bottom line is what, I've changed my ways over the years is that for us, the only calendar we found that actually aligns with the scriptures is the Zadiki calendar. Now, if you're keeping another calendar, if you're on a rabbinic calendar, if you are on some calendar, or you guys have found a way that you believe is right, I congratulate you guys. I give you guys a high five, and I would say keep every possible feast that you can keep. And I don't know if any of us are on the right day. I don't know if any of us are qualified to say this is right and that is wrong. We all come to our beliefs. We all come to what we believe is right. But what we have to understand is that obedience to whatever calendar we are finding out is where we should be. And the Ruach HaKodesh will align us, that will put us where we need to be. And we have a Messiah that's on his way, right? We know the master of the house is coming. We know the groom is going to be heading our way. And so when we have a Messiah that is here and he knows his dad's ways, he's going to go, okay, guys, here, you guys had this wrong and this is why. You had this wrong or you had this right. This is why it is. Now, there's a lot of different feasts and there's not a lot of different understanding to all of them, right? There's stuff with Sukkot. We don't know exactly what they did back in the days, right? The days of trumpet. We don't know exactly what they did. We kind of hope we can look at what they do in Judaism, but as far as exactly what they did, how they did it, we're going to need to wait for our Messiah. So on the terms of calendars, I would find something that aligns with your understanding of scriptures and keep it. And if you have to change a calendar, I understand. It happens. I get it. So that is my thoughts on this.
Daughter of Abraham, may you please enlighten on what is the Holy Spirit above the Father or the Son? I always wondered that in terms of no forgiveness.
I don't think that the Ruach HaKodesh is above Yahuwah, but as far as it's basically the power of the Creator, right? It is in essence it is the Creator, along with all of His spirits, and so it is literally when you're blaspheming the Ruach HaKodesh, you're blaspheming the actual word of our Creator, the way that He works, the way that He operates. And we know that, even the Son, that people are blaspheming the Son, and it is something that is forgivable. But when you are basically crushing the word of our Creator, crushing His ways, then that is where there's no forgiveness for that. So I don't think that He's above anything. So, yes, loving Yah, I'm currently still fasting. Awesome, good for you. Oh, 6 days.
It's on 6 days.
Woo,
and so
you go.
I did wanted to say, make sure if you do eat, that you go slow.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and definitely, when you go out of a fast, guys, especially a longer term fast, try some bone broth, try some, some chicken noodle soup, something that is very easy on your stomach. It can take a couple of days to come out of a fast properly, or else you get really sick. And so,
Go as long as you can. I mean, I know
absolutely.
your family's trying to pressure you to eat, but if you feel good and you don't want to
and
break
if
your
you've
fast,
made it past
then
6 days, I hear it only gets easier. It gets easier until I hear day 30 to 40. That's where those who go on the long-term fast, that's where they struggled with. But getting past day 6, 7, and 8, 3, 4, 5, I guess are the big ones. So you go. This is a gal.
I'm assuming, but I don't know.
All right. Well, if you're a gal, you go, gal. And if you're a dude, you go, man. Rock it. Good job.
Richie James says the enemy doesn't get into your mind at all. It's like he was getting into me on day 6 and into 7.
Yeah. Okay. King G, brother, what if I don't have a congregation, not even one other soul in my home who keeps the feast? What is to do? A feast require to be a holy convocation. Well, we live in a pagan culture. We live in a world that the world has rejected, right? If you look at the amount of Torah keepers that are out there versus the rest of the population, I would say there's probably less than 1% of the world that keeps Torah, if that. We're talking, like 10 billion people on Earth right now, and you have the Chinese guys that are all, what are they? Buddhist. Yeah, they all have the little Buddha, and nobody there keeps the laws, statutes, and commandments. You have all the 3 billion Christians. Nobody gives a rip about Christianity. So it's going to be a lonely journey for us for a while. keep these holy convocations and keep it with yourself. Fast, pray, but actually don't fast on a feast day, but keep it up to Yah, right? At some point, all of us are going to be assimilated, right? We're all going to be pulled over to the kingdom to come. The messengers are going to come and get us out of these dire straits that we are in and this crazy world that we're in. And then all of a sudden, our family is going to emerge. And my family, your family, is all of us, right? Everybody sitting around these tables, everybody that is seeking our Creator. This is our real family. And so it's not these people, not the pagan people of this world that laugh and scoff at us. So yeah, it'll be lonely. It's going to be a lonely trip for a little bit. Same for us down here. I don't know a single, there's like, I don't know what, 3 or 4 million people in this country I'm in.
3.9.
I don't know a single Torah keeper. I know people that are fake Torah keeping, but I wouldn't even know where to go for a holy convocation other than outside of my family. And so it's going to be a lonely road, but sometimes that's where we have to be. We're at the end times, the end of the generations, and everybody has made their choices with what they want to do and how they want to do it. So be faithful to our Creator and be faithful to His ways.
All right, so Brandy says, what about the Feast of Trumpets, and what are we supposed to do on these? That's a high Shabbat, so that's where you feast.
Yeah, it's Feast of Trumpets. Blow your trumpets. It's a holy convocation, right? It is a feast day. It's that's one that we don't have a tremendous amount of understanding with, right? There's not a lot in Scriptures exactly what to do or how to do it. We do know that the trumpets was a day of blowing, right? It was also a day of an inauguration as well, and it's one of these days that I've always had a theory that if you're looking for a possible day that Messiah might come back, and we have all of our little Torah keepers out there and we're all blowing our shofars, what an incredible entrance this would be. And since Messiah came on appointed times and all this stuff was about appointed times, very well it could be one of these things that we're out there blasting our shofars and it's on, right? And something crazy happens. So the best we can do is what it is. We on days like this, we sit around. We call it a Shabbat. It's just like a regular Shabbat. We sit around, read Scriptures, blow our horns, eat, rest, no work, and just chill out. If it's on the middle of a work week, we shut down our doors. We don't go into the office. We don't answer our phones. We leave people to the wolves, per se, the people in the outside world. So. Okay, all right, guys. Well, I guess that's it. Much love to everybody out there. Let's end this. Hold on, real quick. My father-in-law, who is here today, who doesn't know how to text in the chat, and he told us about the shofar and keep a fire burning during the week. Yeah, we don't know anything about like a fire burning. That's not actually in Scriptures. I mean, I don't see why it's a bad thing or a good thing. I mean, you can definitely do that. I mean, you can light some fires and keep them going, and There's no real rules and regulations. That's why we're looking for a Messiah. We're looking for our Melchizedek priest. Our real priest, Messiah Yahushua, is going to come and he's going to line this up. But you know who he's not going to line this up for? The Gentiles, the pagans, the people that are sitting there that don't give a rip about anything. But if we're out there, even on the wrong days, we're figuring this out, we're doing as much as we can to be obedient, we're going to get it dialed in, right? And it's far better than being disobedient little Gentiles. All right, everybody. Jade, will you please bless our fam?
Yahuwah brought you and guard you. Yahuwah made his face shine upon you and shall favor upon you. Yahuwah lift his face upon you and give you peace.
Yep. Yeah, and beautiful what Curtis says. You have become set apart, King G. Yah will honor, yep, however you attempt to keep the feast when you begin. Absolutely. Yep. Sometimes we're on our own journey, especially in this world. All right, hit it.
Walking steady on this road you made. Every step guided by your ways. When I listen close, I understand all your truth held in your perfect plan. Rising higher than before, lifting praise from deep in my core. Lifting praise, Yahuwah, your presence sets me free. Dancing wild 'cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight as I move within your light. sets me free. Dancing wild, cause you're all I need. My heart alive with pure delight. As I move within your light. Dancing, praising, celebrating. Your ways are true and I'm not waiting. To lift my hands to you. To lift my hands to you. Forever lifting praise to you.
All right, everybody. We hope that you have a wonderful Shabbat. May Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May the Torah forever be in your hearts. May our Messiah forever be your leader. And may we all high five each other in the kingdom to come. Much love to you all. Shalom.